Hello, my name is Teresa Kachinos, and today I'll be introducing you to Iceland's food, geography, traditions, and culture. The objective is that by the end of this presentation, you will be able to explain how the geography of Iceland impacts natives' traditional food choices, dietary patterns, and cooking methods, identify the origins of foods unique to Iceland, explain how cured shark is made, recognize the benefits of eating fish, and compare the benefits and risks of consuming a traditional and modern Icelandic diet. When a nutrition professor at the University of Iceland was asked to concisely summarize Icelandic food, she accurately stated abundance, convenience, and creativity. Iceland is a small island nation of 40,000 square miles, about the size of Virginia or Kentucky, and is located in the North Atlantic Ocean bordering the Arctic Circle. Iceland is home to some 3,100 square miles of coastline. About 80%, or 32,000 square miles of Iceland remains uninhabited. Why? Iceland is home to a wide variety of incredible terrains: plateaus, mountains, fjords, glaciers, and fertile lowlands scatter the countryside. Iceland is also home to some amazing waterfalls, geysers, some of the world's most active volcanoes, black sand beaches, and otherworldly steaming lava beds. The climate in Iceland is known to be unpredictable, however it averages at 76 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer months to about 32 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter months. The unpredictability of the weather and the small amount of usable terrain strongly dictated Icelanders' diet until the late 1930s. The large coastline and freshwater lakes led most inhabitants to consume a fish-heavy diet. Mountainous regions and lowlands were excellent for farming the rugged variety of sheep originally cultivated by the Vikings. With such a wide variety of terrains and features, Iceland is home to unique traditional foods and cooking methods. Foods that were naturally occurring are fish, wild bird eggs, puffin, berries, moths, and seaweed, while sheep that were raised in the countryside by Icelanders and their production were sold and traded to the Dutch for valuable rye, barley, and oats, as the terrain of Iceland didn't allow for the production of grains. Cooking methods in Iceland varied based on availability. When lumber was scarce, peat or dung were used for fuel for fire. There were times, however, when peat and dung became scarce or unusable. This called for a unique use of whey in preservation. Now known as lactofermentation, this method became a popular way to preserve blood sausage rather than waste precious fuel to preserve it via smoking. Pictured as blood sausage, known to natives as slaughter. Wood was the primary cooking method until the late 1930s, when electric ovens were introduced along with refined grains. It soon became popular to bake goods with wheat flours. Housewives throughout the country aimed at besting their neighbors' baked goods. There are two primary events where traditional foods are celebrated. The first is Plorblad. This is an annual festival that falls between mid-January and mid-February. The modern version of this traditional Thor-worshipping fest is now a celebration of foods that are unique to this tiny island country, such as ram testicles, blood sausage pickled in whey, singed sheep's head, and cured shark. The other holiday that features foods unique to Iceland is Christmas. Christmas time in Iceland holds feasts to puffin, smoked lamb, a grouse-like game bird known as ptarmigan, smoked ham, and a traditional cold rice pudding. However intriguing the exotic foods of Iceland may be, fish, and more specifically cod, was a staple of Icelandic diets until the mid-20th century. Even today, fish is consumed more frequently in Iceland than in any other European country. Consuming fish regularly has many benefits, as it's considered to be a low-calorie, high-protein dietary source. Fish is low in total unsaturated fat while being low in cholesterol. Fish is a natural source of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin A, and a complex of different B vitamins, selenium, zinc, iodine, and iron. Fish is also credited with benefiting the cardiovascular system, brain, eyes, and muscles. The traditional eating habits of Icelanders are very familiar to Americans. They traditionally ate 3 square meals a day, and fish was present at almost every meal, if not every meal. It could be seen fresh, dried, cured, smoked, or even less commonly, salted. Variations in Icelanders' diets depended on the seasonality and availability of produce and game. While fish can be found in diets worldwide, there are a handful of foods that remain unique to Iceland. The first of these foods is skyr. Skyr is a yogurt-type dairy product produced from skimmed milk. The skimmed milk is heated with a whey starter, similar to that of kombucha, kefir, or sourdough bread. Once curds and whey have formed, the whey is slowly allowed to drain from the curds for hours, leaving behind skyr. Skyr can be found mass-produced here in the United States. Some individuals claim it to be better than the recently popularized Greek yogurt. Skyr is traditionally served with cream and fresh fruit. Slaughter, or blood sausage, is a product that is traditionally prepared in the fall. Even though some families continued this tradition, its popularity decreased with the introduction of modern foods in the mid-20th century. However, it did see a spike in sales with a nationwide financial collapse in 2008. While modern blood sausage is thickened using flour, traditional blood sausage was thickened with moss, herbs, plants, and kale. The filled sausage could be smoked or pickled in whey. This food sees spikes in sales with financially difficult times, as it can be easily made and sold inexpensively. Blood sausage is traditionally served with potatoes, generally mashed or boiled. And finally, one of the most unique foods to Iceland, hakartal, or cured shark. This food is known to be the most disgusting food in the world. Most who consume this meat vomit upon ingestion. Even famous chef Gordon Ramsay and food traveler Anthony Bourdain have vomited after eating this. Why? Hakartal has a potent ammonia smell. This delicacy is made today using the same process used in Viking times. First, the shark is beheaded. Then, to eliminate poisons such as trimethylene oxide and uric acid, a shallow hole is dug in the sand and hakartal is placed in it, with stones, sand, and gravel placed on top. The pressure of the stones allows liquid to seep out over a period of 6 to 12 weeks, a time frame that allows the shark to ferment properly. After this, the fermented shark, which is 20 feet long on average, is taken out of the ground, cut up into long pieces, and hung to dry for several months. Many hakartal preparers claim that they know the meat is ready just by the smell, and once a characteristic dried brown crust forms. When the time is right, the pieces are taken down, the crust is removed, and the meat is cut into slices and served with a Viking spirit known as Black Death, as it supposedly helps remove the taste of the cured shark from the mouth. While these foods, as unique and popularized as they may be, are not true to a traditional diet of an Icelander. A traditional Icelandic diet includes fish, skyr, rye bread, butter, mutton, and other sheep products like sheephead or blood sausage, puffin, wild bird eggs, berries, moss, and seaweed. A modern Icelander's diet matches more closely with that of Americans rather than of Vikings. Chicken and pork are now readily available in grocery stores and outweigh fish in popularity. Refined wheat products like breads, pasta, and pizza have grown to be staples in Icelandic diets. Sweetened carbonated drinks are now widely popular. Fish, however its decreased popularity, is still consumed a few times a week in most households. A traditional Icelandic diet has many nutritional benefits. Rye, when compared to wheat, has been found to reduce body weight, have a lower insulin impact, achieve higher satiety, and actually downregulate 71 potential harmful genes, including those for insulin sensitivity and cardiovascular disease. Berries, like those found in Iceland, have proven many health benefits. Studies have found that berries, which are high in antioxidants, prevent dementia, and combat high blood pressure, obesity, and type 2 diabetes while promoting healthy digestion. However, this traditional diet has a cause for concern. Eating too much fish can have a detrimental effect on the body. In 1939, Iceland conducted its first national nutrition survey. At that time, the average male consumed 200 grams of fish a day. This averages out to about 160 pounds of fish a year. Currently, the FDA recommends that individuals do not consume more than 30 pounds a year. This means that the traditional Icelandic diet has more than 5 times the recommended amount of fish per year. That being said, the modern Icelandic diet is closer to matching the modern American diet than the traditional Icelandic diet. With the introduction of modernized foods, Iceland embraced outside foods and influences. Carbohydrates from both wheat products and sodas lead to high blood sugar and subsequent type 2 diabetes, along with increased incidence of obesity, cardiovascular disease, and metabolic syndrome. Wheat products also have lower satiety than traditional rye bread. However, the modern Icelandic diet has more fish, which allows for the health benefits of fish, as we discussed before. This table shows a comparison of meat choices in a traditional Icelandic diet and a modern Icelandic diet. The traditional meats are noted with a T, and the modern meats are noted with an M. Comparisons are made in a 100-gram sample of the respective meat, while the total columns give the added amount for modern and traditional meat sources. Cod was selected to represent the fish-rich diet of traditional Iceland, as it was the most readily available fish. It is important to remember that the type of fish consumed varied based on location and season. A different type of fish may have a different nutrient profile. The summary columns show that the traditional meat sources were lower in calorie, higher in protein, iron, magnesium, and vitamin B12 than its modern counterparts. In summary, wide geographical differences dictate food choices, dietary patterns, and cooking methods in Iceland. Food and preparation methods that are unique to Iceland were created on necessity and availability. The traditionally fish-heavy diet poses both benefits and risks to individuals. Traditional whole grains, such as rye and barley, have more health benefits than the preferred modern grains. The traditional Icelandic diet is truly created off of abundance, convenience, and creativity. Thank you for watching this presentation.